So that's Jamie Woolman there you've just seen in the Javelin. I think that's round one. And it looks like we're almost ready for that hurdles race, senior and under 20 hurdles. $36.50 for Jamie Woolman there. So here's the senior and under 20 men's hurdles. On the inside two lanes, we've got Rio May of Coventry Godiva and Matthew Griffin of Birchfield. Then there'll be a blank lane, and it looks like it's only Prince Aya who's turned up from the seniors. So we've just got three in this race, two juniors on the inside, which is Rio May and Matthew Griffin, and then Prince Aya on the outside on the high hurdles. So they're after 13.6 for the juniors, that is. That's the world under 20 stand. So May and Griffin on the inside there. That's Griffin in the black vest pulling away. He looks very smooth. May trying to go with him, but it's all Griffin here. It's all Matthew Griffin pushing right through the line, trying to get that standard. Well, it looked quick. Well, we'll see. 13.6, remember, that's what he's after, that world under 20 standard. It is obviously only early May, so he's got quite a bit of time to get it, but that's what his target is. If he does get it, he gets a nice £200 from Monterain, our sponsors tonight. Oh, and you'll see on the screen now, Lillian Smith from Bratt, just about to throw the javelin. Under 20. So we've had a few marks in the javelin. Erin Waters, under 20, threw 37.62 in the first round. Jamie Warman, we saw him throw 36.50. And Anna Ragoza, I think we saw her just before the hurdles, throw 30 meters and 40 centimeters. Sorry, no, it was Helena Agola we saw with a no mark. We missed Anna's throw, I believe. So here's Jamie Warman with his second throw. Buak decathlete, Jamie. So he could be having a busy night here. We've just got Lillian Smith's mark. So Lillian Smith ran through 23.18. That's the first throw. Here's Jamie. Difficult to tell from here, possibly a little further than his first round. He doesn't look overly thrilled with it. So I'll keep you posted. Yeah, 35.19 for Jamie there, so no improvement on his first round throw. I think this is Helena Agolo. So she's got the white flag, so it'll be a score. It'll be a scored throw. So 24.09 for Helena there. It's not going to challenge Anna. Here's Anna. Looking for an improvement on that 30-40. It's going to be close. I think it's going to be around the 30-meter mark again. Okay, so the 100 hurdles, Matthew Griffin, very quick there, 13.94, still needs another 0.3 to get that world junior standard, but that is a pretty swift season opener, or if not a season opener, still a pretty swift time for early May. Rio May, 15.55 for second place there, and then Prince Aya all on his own in the senior men's race, 15.83. So there you go. You can see those hurdle races there. A really impressive 13.94 from Matthew Griffin. So just 0.3 away from that world junior standard. So Anna Ragosa in the second round, no improvement there. 29.92 for her javelin. So the 200 meters now. First of our open 200 meters, we've got Annie Testa in lane 3, Peter Io in lane 4, Madeline Wobbles in lane 5, Ben McIntyre lane 6, and Molly Swingler in lane 7. I think Annie Testa is actually an 800-meter runner, so she's dropping down for a bit of speed work, and I think a very successful 800-meter runner, I'm told. I think English schools champion in the past. So this will really blow off the cobwebs, and will be interesting to see how strong she can finish, whether those sprinters get away from her a little bit at the start, and then whether they start to come back to her in the home straight a little bit. There's Jamie Warman again in the javelin. That was his third throw we just saw there. Erin Waters we missed, unfortunately. She threw further again in the second round, 41.06. She's taken the lead out to. There's Helena Agola. Another no throw there for Helena, unfortunately. So she's still just got that 24.09 mark on there. And that's Trinity O'Connor you just saw going clear on the pole vault. We're not quite sure the height there. Can't read any boards from here. So here's the women's 200 meters. The open 200 meters, yeah. Annie Testa, Peter Ilo, Madeline Wobbles, keep your eye on her, Ben McIntyre and Molly Swing. So that clock you can see in the bottom right, that's just going to be a rough time. Give us an idea of how fast it is. Okay, so Wapples and Ben McIntyre going really well. Looks like Ben McIntyre and Wapples are going to have the lead between them coming into the home straight. Don't forget about Annie Tester, probably going to finish strong as an 800-metre runner. It's Wapples versus McIntyre. Wapples, I think, is just going to hold it. Can Ben McIntyre get her on the line? Oh, Ben McIntyre from Madeline Wapples, Peter Ilo, then Annie Tester, and then Moni Swingver. Evan Campbell just knocking the bar off in the pole vault there. And this is Lillian Smith in the Javelin. Looks similar to her previous performance, I think. I'm not sure it's going to be an improvement on the 23.18 she threw in round one. So here's Jamie Warman again in the Javelin. Went out to 36.56 in round three. That's his best so far. I was going to say it could be a little further, but he's just got the red flag there. So Jamie's best still 36.56. Oh, and we're looking at the pole vault again now. Evan Campbell there in the pole vault. Just knocked that off. There's Helena Gola again in the Javelin. But unfortunately, I think another no throw there. I think this Anna Ragosa we're about to see throw here. Okay, so next 200 now. In lane 2, we've got Safe Safe. Lane 3, Josh Pearson. Lane 4, Joseph Foster. Lane 5, Taib Essan. Lane 6, Aaron Bellchamber. Lane 7, Zachary Blair. And lane 8, Nathaniel Walker. Okay, and they're off. So Bellchamber trying to hang on to McIntyre, I think it is, on the outside there. So outside lane, that's Nathaniel Walker going really well. And just on the inside there, I think that's Josh Pearson. So Nathaniel Walker from Josh Pearson there. Okay, so this is our results you can see on the screen now. First results from the evening, which is the women's 100 hurdles. So that was a win for Danny Hales, 13.8. Alice Lineker of Buac led home a Buac 2.34 and 14.7. Zoe Ostrich also 14.7. Lily Holt of Buac 14.8. Maya Stewart of Worcester 15.20. And Rebecca Hardy of Buac in 17 flat. So here's Jamie Warman again, throw 5. Still that best of 36.56 from round 3. They're thinking about a white flag. No, it looks like that's another foul, unfortunately. And here's Helena Agola. 3 no throws, unfortunately, for Helena so far. Best of 24.09. So she's got the white flag there. Here's the roll. I think it's around 3:30 at the moment. Can't tell who that is. That is Emily Scrivener, I'm told. And here's Anna Ragosa in the Javelin, best of 30.4 at the moment. I'm not sure that's quite going to improve. Helena Agola's last throw, 17.46, so that's no improvement for her, unfortunately. Oh, and here's Erin Waters in the Javelin. So she's been having a really good competition. She's 41.06 at the moment. So that's the furthest we've seen this evening. Obviously, under 20 women, so she's throwing a different weight to the senior men and the senior women, I believe. But a really good set of throws, 37, 41, 40, and 40. Well, and that's going to mark, that might be just over 40 again. We're just on our third 200 metre of the evening. So on the inside, we've got Alex Huchin, then Julian Priest, Mustafa Mahmoud, Elliot Powell, Stefan Awua Bafur, Panache Majuru, and Daniel Lamb. So Panache is coming fresh from a silver at Bucks in the 400 hurdles. You can see him in lane 7 storming past Daniel Lamb there. So Panache is looking really strong in lane 7 on the outside. Julian Priest looking good. Oh, Panache's down. That's Elliot Powell, I think, just from Mustafa Mahmoud there. So came through really strong at the end there. So that's a real shame to see Panache Majuru pull up there in that 200. He looked like he was going really well, and obviously coming off the back of a really strong Bucks performance as well. It's Jamie Warman, I think, with his last round throw. Not convinced it's any further. Erin Waters, we saw her just before that 200 throw. So that was an improvement. That was 42.11 she's gone out to now. So she's having a really good night tonight. So here's Helena Agola in the Javelin, her last throw. Looking for something beyond 24 metres. Fortunately, that's a no throw for Helena. So her best 24.09 in the javelin tonight. Anna Ragosa steps up. Best of 30.40 at the moment. So here's Erin Waters' final throw in the javelin. Threw a best of 42 in the last round. That's gone far again. It could be another improvement. It's certainly going to be close. So it might be pushing out to 45, that. So that was a fifth round best of 42.11 for Erin. This is Lillian Smith in the javelin. Best of 24.33 so far. So it looks like that was a couple of meters PB for Erin Waters in the javelin, which is really impressive for May. Just going to shoot over to the 200 meters now. Ruby Smith, Ella May Hook, Isabel Carruthers, A. Smith, Efogini Utter, Anthony Golding, Celicia Wiltshire Bailey, and Dylan Gargett. So I think on the outside there, that's Anthony Golding. And just inside him is Ota. So it's going to be Golding and Ota taking 1-2. And in lane 3, that's going to be Isabel Carruthers and May Smith. I think May Smith just got third there. So that was Golding for first, Ota for second, and May Smith just taking third ahead of Isabel Carruthers. Well, so here we go. This is the result from one of our 200s earlier. Heat 2, where we saw Heat 1, sorry, where we saw Ben McIntyre just take the win away from Madeline Wobbles. Both of them got out to a really strong bend there. Peter Io came through strong at the end to take third place in 26.42. And Molly Swingler, 26.51 for fourth. And Annie Tester, fifth, 26.68. Pole vault, we think they're about 340 there. That was Ben Hillman there going over at 340. So another 200 for you. Lane 1, Katie Collis. Lane 2, Bonaire Shabola. Isla O'Connor in 3. Isabel Davis in 4. Rosciano Thomas Riley in 5. Alfredo Imbimbo in 6. Freddie De Cruz in 7. And Georgia Hewitt in 8. So I think that's Rosciano Thomas Riley absolutely flying around that first bend there. He's got this one all to himself, so it's whether he can just push himself to the line for a super quick time. Looking really smooth. Isabel O'Connor looks like she's going to take second. Isabel O'Connor for second, Shabola for third, and I think fourth there was Alfredo Imbimbo, I think. So really impressive run from Rosciano Thomas Riley there. If I've got his stats correct, I think he's run a 21.83 before. So it'll be interesting to see whether he's close to that. Most of the other girls in that race kind of hovering around the 26, 27 mark. So it's whether you think that was a 4 or 5 second gap or not, really. So as we switch our attention back to the pole vault, I think the bar's at 340 still. So we think it's going to be a first attempt from someone. For Trinity O'Connor, clear card so far. First failure of the night for Trinity, unfortunately, 340. Still got 2 more attempts left, though. Just didn't look like she quite had the speed to take her over that. So a couple of weekends ago, a week and a half ago at Bucks, Trinity PB'd with 350. So 357. 350 to come 7th. So we're hoping she can get close to that again tonight, or maybe even go a bit further. That's Craig Moncur we can see there. So he's entered the competition at 340, had his first failure. Okay, so here's the result from the Javelin. Erin Waters throwing 42.11 for a PB there. So under 20 women, Erin. Jamie Warman, are one of Buak's decathletes, throwing 36.56. Anna Ragoza took the senior women's competition with 30.40. Lillian Smith, second in the under 20 women with 24.33. And Helena Agola, second in the senior women with 24.09. So we've got another attempt in the pole vault coming up. So it might be Trinity O'Connor, I think, about to vault in the pole vault. Second attempt at 340. Remember, she cleared 350 a couple of weeks ago at Bucks for 7th place. Yeah, great clearance from Trinity there. Looks a little bit quicker, more determined on the runway, and a nice clearance there, just giving the bar a little wobble as she comes down. But over 340 safely, and her competition continues tonight. That's Craig Moncur, you can just see in the shot there with the top knot, just getting ready for his third attempt at 340. This is his opening height. You just caught Andy Ashurst in the shot there, his coach, former Commonwealth champion. So we're looking forward to seeing him enter the competition. So here's the junior 150 meter race. So all under 13s here. We've got James Longsworth on the inside, lane 2. Musli Mohammed, Muyad Mohammed, Seb Horton, or Horton Seb, Anthony Wiltshire Bailey, and Dominic Moynihan. Oh, and unfortunately that's Craig Moncur just failing in the pole vault there, so that's his night over. So the 150s are off. Looks like Antonio Wiltshire Bailey's probably coming off on the lead. Or perhaps that's Muyad Mohammed, actually. Looks like it's between Muyad Mohammed and Horton Seb. Yeah, Muyad Mohammed's just going to take that from Seb Horton there. James Longworth looked like he got third on the inside, and fourth was Antonio Wiltshire Bailey. So really good run from Muyad Mohammed there. So our second 150 metres of Sophie Long or Bailey. Ben Hillman clear at 350 now, I think. So that 150 just about to go off. Sophie Longworth, Nor Bailey, Neve O'Carroll, Erin McDade, Oisin Knox, and Millie Gordon-McLean. So it looks like McDade's running a good bend. Gordon-McLean on the outside as well, but it's McDade in the middle there with Neve O'Carroll going to be chasing her home. Can McDade hold on? She looks like she's tying up a little bit. Neve O'Carroll coming strong. It's going to be McDade and O'Carroll. And, oh, McDade just takes it from Neve O'Carroll at the end there. So Erin McDade getting off to a flying start and just managing to hold off the fast finishing Neve O'Carroll to win the under 13 girls 150 metres. So this was heat 2, heat 3 of the open heat 3. We think of the open 200 metres. So Elliot Powell, and Mustafa Mohammed tied for first there. 21.55 for both of them. Stephen Awur gets third with 21.87. Daniel Lamb from Buak, fourth in 22.2. And Julian Priest, fifth with 22.55. And our best wishes to Panache Majuru, our 400 hurdler from Buak, who pulled up after a storming bend, but pulled up in the home straight there. So we really hope he's okay. So Ben Hillman just failed, I think, at 360 there. Failure for Ben Hillman. Clear card up until that point. So with 2 more attempts, hopefully he can get over that. So Trinity at 360, I think that was. So she passed 350, so going for a new PB at 360. 2 more attempts for Trinity. So we're just debating whether former Commonwealth champion, who you can see in the shot there, Andy Ashurst, is going to be competing. It looks like he's got his spikes on. We're excited. Also, former BUAC record holder before one of my contemporaries, Nick Cruchley, actually took that from him, I'm told. But the heights are going up, and Andy Ashurst is still passing, which is quite exciting. Yeah, so Ben Hillman, you can just see his pole just popping into the shot there, going for his second attempt at 360. Good pace on the runway. Oh, much better. Oh, yeah, and the pole's clear as well. Yeah, great vault from Ben Hillman there. Looks much better than his first attempt. I think that was Trinity O'Connor. You could just see walking across the shot. So she's going to be getting ready for her second attempt at 360 as well. So this is the... No, it's not. Yes, it is. Yeah, the first 150-meter result. So we saw Erin McDade, as we said, get off to a really good start, then just managed to hold off the fast-finishing Neve O'Carroll. So 22.54 to 22.62 there. Oshie Knox, third, 23.64. Nor Bailey, fourth in 23.83. Millie Gordon-McLean in fifth with 23.88. And Sophie Longworth, sixth with 25.52. So you can see Trinity O'Connor's thing. Yeah, Trinity O'Connor just about to take her second attempt at 360 here. So in she comes. Good pace on the runway. No. So one more attempt for Trinity. Try and get that PB. So here we go. The 400 meters. I think we've got Katie Holm in lane 4. We've got Katie Hopkins in lane 5. We've got Annie Testa in lane 6, fresh from the 200 meters, and Maisie Scamp in lane 7. So Holm, Hopkins, Testa, and Scamp. All these girls knocking on the door of 60 seconds, so keep an eye on that clock. So they're off the first heat of the open 400 meters. Looks like Annie Testa's, she's already making up the stagger on Maisie Scamp. And just inside her, Katie Hopkins making up the stagger on Annie Testa. So it looks like Hopkins has probably slightly got the lead, but there goes Testa just pulling away from her a little bit. That 800-meter strength coming through. So Testa opening a bit of a gap coming around the top end, and she's got the outside lane, so it should open up a bit more in the home straight as well. Can Hopkins hang on? Here comes Testa down the home straight. Remember, she's already done a 200 meters tonight. It's going to be Testa and Hopkins. I think Hopkins coming back at her slightly, but Testa's got this one locked up. Keep an eye on the clock. 4, 5, 56, 57. So quick race for those girls. Annie Testa, followed by Katie Hopkins, followed by Katie Holm, followed by Maisie Scamp on the outside for Brat. So last attempt in the pole vault for Trinity O'Connor here. A little bit quicker on the runway, but no. So unfortunately, that's Trinity O'Connor out of the competition with a best of 3:40. Okay, so here's the start list for the second heat of the open 400 meters. In lane 2, we've got Imogen Shepherd. In lane 3, Prince Laia. In lane 4, Harry Parker McLean. Lane 5, Louis Stival. Lane 6, Isabel Skelton. And lane 7, Olivia Kimboa. So these athletes all around the 55-second mark. A couple of them have dipped under before. So Harry Parker McLean in number 149 in the white vest you can see there. And Louis Stival just outside him, 174 in the yellow vest. Both of them have run 54 before. And the first, we're just until we got the first heat results for the 400 meters. We don't. No, we don't. Maybe later. Oh, Andy Ashurst has entered the pole vault. First time clearance at 370. So second heat of the men's 400 meters are off. Louis Stival's gone out pretty hard. Parker McLean trying to hang on to him. And Prince Laia on the inside going pretty well as well. Looks at the moment like Parker McLean's just pulling away from those two slightly. I think that's Isabel Skelton on the outside doing pretty well as well. So Parker McLean looks like he's got this one to himself with 200 to go. Prince is coming back at him on the inside. So watch those two yellow vests as the stagger unfolds. Prince is going to be putting some pressure on Louis Stival there. So here we go. Looks like Louis Stival's tying up. Prince is coming away. And Harry Parker McLean trying to squeeze through on the inside. So it's Parker McLean and Prince. Looks like Parker McLean's just going to take this one from Prince Laia. Louis Stival third, and Isabel Skelton fourth. So really well judged race there from Harry Parker McLean. Louis Stival took it out hard. Prince Laia came back strong in that third 100 meters, but it was Harry Parker McLean who'd left enough coming down the home straight to take the win there. And we'll keep posted on that. Harry's time is just an under 17. Toby Irving entered the pole vault you've just seen there, so he's clear at 370. So we've got three athletes clear at 370. So we've got Andy Ashurst, who's just entered, Toby Irving just entered, and Ben Hillman after a failure at 360 and then a clearance at 360, first time clearance at 370. Oh, so 400 meters heat, 3 start list you can see there. So looks like lane 3, we've got Oscar Frost of Buak. Lane 4, familiar face for you, maybe Jamie Warman, fresh from the Javelin, I'm sure. Lane 5, Evan Campbell not from the pole vault, from the pole, Evan Campbell. Lane 6, Craig Moncur from the pole vault. And lane 7, James Colclough. Oh, so sorry, Evan Campbell. Yeah, Evan Campbell and Craig Moncur from the pole vault. Both no heighted, unfortunately, but back for more. And Jamie Warman as well. So 3 decathletes in the middle lanes there in 4, 5, 6. And I should mention Oscar Frost, who we're going to hear from later in the inside lane, is the Bucks mascot race champion. So kudos to him. But not running in his lion outfit today. So Andy Ashurst in the pole vault. 1986 Commonwealth Games champion. Let's see how it's done. Not how it's done. So still 2 attempts for him at 380. So Battle of the Buak decathletes in 4, 5, 6. James Colclough of Brat in 7. And Oscar Frost, our mascot running hero, lane 3. So, and they're off. Looked like a good start from Oscar Frost. He's already starting to make up the stagger on Jamie Warman. And the 3 on the outside, Campbell, Moncur and Colclough, all gone off well. So it looks like those 4 going hard. Just on the outside, Moncur and Colclough. Colclough just pulling up on Moncur with almost just over 200 to go. So Moncur just coming around the bend, just on the lead, but Colclough's hanging on to him. Watch out for Oscar Frost on the inside. He's got the inside stagger, so see how that unfolds for him. So it's looking like it's Moncur and Colclough, but Frost is coming through strong on the inside. Moncur's just tying up a little bit. Could be Frost who takes this one. Ooh, too close to call. I think James Colclough just stole it from Oscar Frost there, with Craig Moncur just tying up a little bit, around 300 or so. So Toby Irving, passed at 380 in the pole vault. And it looks like it's second attempt for Andy Ashurst here. So Andy coaching a number of the athletes in this event, as well as doing his own pole vault tonight. Wow, much faster on the runway, and that is definitely how it's done. Really aggressive there, and flew over 380. I'm sure he won't mind me telling you he is 57 and he has just vaulted 3 meters 80. It's pretty phenomenal. So that's senior long jump, just you can see warming up there. Oh, so that's the open long jump field there. So Miles Durant Sutherland of Birchfield, Joshua Knox and Josh Woods and Hannah Jones, all of Buac, and Lily Smith of Bratt. So we'll keep an eye on that. They're just warming up at the moment. So that's race 4 of the 400 metres you can see lining up there. So in lane 2, we've got Lloyd Ellis of Buac. Amardeep Sangha goes in 3. Who I can't see at the moment, so that might be a non-starter. Kit Oliver Stevens in 4. Ben Hillman in 5. Again, that might be a non-starter. Ah, he's vaulting, Ben Hillman. Still vaulting. So is he going to come over? Who knows? Jack Littman of Oxford City in lane 6 and Jack Kinraid in lane 7. I think that's Shrewsbury. Okay, so Ellis, Oliver Stevens, Lippman and Kinraid. Okay, so heat 4 of the men's 400-metre run going off there. Looks like in the middle lane, Kit Oliver Stevens has gone out really hard. He's already making up the stagger on Jack Littman, and there was a lane in between them. Lane 8, Jack Kinraid has gone off well as well. So it looks like it's probably Kinraid and Oliver Stevens at the moment. So these athletes are knocking on the door of 50 seconds. So keep your eye on that clock. Looks like they went through in about 24-ish. So 50-51 these guys' PBs are. And it's Kinraid on the outside with Oliver Stevens just coming through in the middle. Looks like Kinraid's just starting to tie up. That's Lloyd Ellis on the inside. Is he going to catch Oliver Stevens? He seems to have timed it. So no, it's between Stevens and Kinraid. Stevens who went out hard. Kinraid just taking it from him, I think. And they were right around that 50-second mark. So there could very well be a couple of pleased guys in that race with some new PBs. So sadly, Ben Hillman, I think we just missed there, but he failed his 3rd attempt at 380, so he's out of the competition with a best of 370. So the pole vault is down to Andy Ashurst, Toby Irving. We think just Andy Ashurst and Toby Irving. Okay, so Andy Ashurst on the runway for the pole vault now. So this is, I think, 390. So Andy Ashurst on the runway for the pole vault. Coming in now. Wow, I was going to say, didn't look like he was carrying quite as much pace as his 380 there, but what do I know? Another great clearance from Andy Ashurst there, showing the kids how it's done. So Andy Ashurst takes the lead in that competition with Toby Irving having passed at 380. We're on to Heat 5, our final heat of the Open 400. Lane 2, we've got Oliver Carville of Buac, Harry Hillman of Cardiff, Christian Byron, Mark Roberts and David Mould. And we might even have Ben Hillman. Yeah, it looks like Ben Hillman fresh from the pole vault. Missed his last heat, but we're going to squeeze him in to this race, and he will be looking for bragging rights over his brother Harry Hillman. So battle of the Hillmans here. So looks like Christian Byron is a no-show. Ben Hillman just sorting out his blocks. Say fresh from the pole vault. Quick sip of water and he's ready. Watch the Hillmans in 3 and 4, battle of the brothers. Carvel, Roberts, Bold. So Harry Hillman got off to a flying start. He's already making up the stugger on his brother. And on the outside, that's David Mould going pretty well as well. But it's Harry Hillman at the moment. And Mark Roberts just starting to move as we come down that back straight as well. So it looks like Mark Roberts has really got going now. And it's probably going to be between him and Harry Hillman. Harry Hillman's got the inside lane, but Mark Roberts seems to have gone up another gear there. Harry Hillman putting in a burst just as they come into the home straight. So it's going to be between Hillman and Mark Roberts. Harry Hillman and Mark Roberts. Mark Roberts just holding it off, but Harry Hillman's finishing strong. Harry Hillman, I think, is going to make this. Yeah, really strong finish from Harry Hillman. Pumping the arms. And, I think Hillman from Roberts there. And I think that was David Mould for third, Ollie Carvel for fourth, and Ben Hillman, straight from the pole vault, picks up 5th place there. Toby Irving, we've just seen go clear at 390, I think. Oh, and a nice shot you just missed there of the brothers embracing at the end of the 400 there. So really aggressive race from Harry Hillman there. Took it out really hard from the start. Relaxed a little down the home straight and then had something left in the last 150 to take the win, I believe, from Mark Roberts. So heat one of the 400 meters. Annie Tester took the win for Buak. It's a 1-2-3 for Buak. Annie Tester took the win in 58.02. So that's a really, really good time. Those girls are all knocking on the door of 60 seconds prior to tonight. Katie Hopkins in second with 59.41. Katie Holm in third with 62.70. And Maisie Scamp in fourth from Brat, 64.54. Heat three, we're going to bring you now. So heat three was James Colclough of Brat in 52.77, just edging out Oscar Frost from Buak with 52.85. Craig Moncur, Buak 52.98. Evan Campbell 53.35, and Jamie Warman from his fresh from his Javelin with 55.91. Heat four. Jack Kinraid took the win there with 50.36. Kit Oliver Stevens, 50.49. And Lloyd Ellis, 51.46. Andy Ashurst, 4 meters in the pole vault. Not quite, 2 more attempts though. So Andy Ashurst, second attempt, we think, at 4 meters. So here's Andy Ashurst. No, and we think that's a second time failure at 4 meters for Andy. So shaking hands with the officials there, so he might be calling it a night. Either it's the third attempt, so we missed his second, or he's calling that a night there. So best of 390 for Andy Ashurst in the pole vaults. Fantastic vaulting. And we've got the result for the 5th heat of the 400 metres for you. So win there from the super fast starting Harry Hillman, Cardiff AC 49.29. Mark Roberts from Liverpool 49.32. David Mould 51.51. Oliver Carville 51.63. And Buax Decathlete Ben Hillman 53.29. So Harry taking the battle of the brothers there. I think that's Toby Irving just gone over at 4 metres there. Oh, so sorry, we missed a few volts. So Andy Ashurst cleared 4 metres, went out at 4:05 with 3 failures there. Toby Irving, I think, has just cleared 4:05. So Toby Irving, if he has just gone clear at 4:05, that's a 5 centimetre PB. Best. Oh, sorry, 4:10. So he passed at 4:05, cleared 4:10. So that's 10 centimetres above 10 centimetre new PB, and he's still got a clear scorecard. So really good night for Toby Irving. So Toby Irving standing on the runway again for the pole vault. We're not quite sure what height it is at the moment. We might have been a bit premature with that 4:10. Those results have since been deleted. So we'll let you know as soon as we can what height he is actually attempting. Here he is, Toby Irving. No, he's not. They've just popped a cone out. So next up on the track is going to be the BMC Women's A800 race. That was due to go off at 7 o'clock, but they've dropped down to 2 heats, so it's probably going to be a little bit delayed, that one. Dropped down from 2 heats to 1 heat, so could be going off a little bit later. So first time failure there for Toby Irving. We'll bring you the height as soon as we know it. So here's your start list for the BMC Gold Standard Women's 800. Issy Cotham wears number 1. No, she doesn't. She's in lane 1. Steph Driscoll of Liverpool, Tilly Simpson, Amy Griffiths, Kate Willis, Katie Hopkins, Francesca Brint, and Alice Bennett. No mark there for Toby Irving. We think that's his second attempt at that height. So we're just about to start with the women's 800. In the purple vest, you can see on the inside there, just coming to the left of the screen, that's Steph Driscoll, 7th at the UK champs in the 400 hurdles a couple of years ago. So stepping up to the 8 now. In the okay, so on the inside, we've got Izzy Cotton. He was over 1500 this time. We've got Steph Driscoll. We've got Tilly Simpson. Can't quite tell. Got the pace. It's Kate Willis. Bennett. Okay, they're off. So Steph Driscoll looks like she's gone out hard, and the pace is going to have to work hard to get in front of Steph there. And number 6, that's Iris Downs as well. 40th of the cross-country nationals, Iris. But it's Steph Driscoll's really taking this out hard, and the pacemaker's having to work pretty hard to get in front of her. So Steph Driscoll really set out her stall nice and early. So Steph Driscoll just behind the pace after 200 metres. And the pace looks like it's going to be around 61, 62 we're looking for here. So I think that's Amy Griffiths just coming around. Steph Driscoll there to take second behind the pacemaker. And just on her shoulder, you can see Iris Downs with the number 6. So it's Griffith, Downs and Driscoll, your top 3 as the pace drops out. Griffith's got the lead. So really strong 1500 metre runner, Amy Griffiths. But that is Iris Downs hitting the front with 3:50 to go. Strong cross-country runner, Iris Downs. She's opened up a little bit of a gap. Steph Driscoll looks like she's trying to close that down. But Iris Downs at the moment has got a 5 or so metre lead. And she's running really well. It's going to be a case of whether Steph Driscoll can catch her here, I think. Just making a move into 3rd place, that's Izzy Cotton as well, so she might not be out of it. But Iris Downs made a big move at 3:50, and she is flying now. Steph Driscoll, the only one who can sort of go with her. So as we come into the home straight, it's Iris Downs with Steph Driscoll just behind her. And Iris Downs looks like she's going to win it. Steph Driscoll finishing strong as well. Keep your eye on the clock. Alice Bennett in 3rd. 2:04, 2:05-ish. So fantastic performance from Iris Downs there. Previous PB was 2:08. So to open up her season with something around the 2:05 mark, absolutely fantastic. 3-second PB. And we'll just have a quick look at those under 20 times. So yeah, that's going to be close to the world under 20 standard. The world under 20 standard she's looking for is 2:05. And we are around that mark for Iris Downs there. So really strong running, made a fantastic move with 3:50 to go. Finished very, very strong, and she's going to be very close to that world under 20 record. World under 20 qualifying standard, sorry. And remember, if she gets that, she gets a nice £200 bonus from our sponsors tonight, Monterey. So just while we wait on that result from the women, here's the start list for the men's 800 metres to first heat. So Adam Day, PB of 1:52 set this season. Daniel Maud, Sam Davey, Andrew Smith, Iestin Williams, Tyler Billiard, Adam Peacock and Dan Galloway. So Andrew Smith there, you can see with number 14. He's the only guy in this field wearing the saw kit. Yeah, only guy in this field who's gone under 150. So we'll see how quickly he can open up his season this year. So the start list for this one in sharing lane 1, we've got Adam Day and Daniel Maud. Daniel Maud fresh off a semi-final performance at Bucks. Clocks 153 already this year. Lane 2 is Sam Davey, another 153 athlete. Lane 3 is Andrew Smith, our sub 150 guy, 148.54. Yestin Williams in lane 4. Looks like he's sharing that with Tyler Billiard. Lane 6 is Adam Peacock. One thing to say about Adam Peacock, he loves a parkrun, and he has clocked up a lot of wins at the Arrow Valley Parkrun, so I'm interested to see how he's come. I think he's come from sort of more distance background, so he could be strong in the later part of the race. Dan Galloway and Jay Sispel make up the rest of the field. And they're off. Men's 800 metres. So Andrew Smith's gone out relatively conservatively. They're not really going with the pace. He's got a bit of a gap at the moment. It's Adam Day on the inside. Looks like he's going to... Adam Day and Daniel Moore just ahead of Adam Day, sorry. They're the two who are going with the pace there. 51.52, mind you, is what we've asked the pacemaker for. So it is pretty quick, which is why they're sitting off it a little bit. Just coming around the outside there, that's Yestin Williams slotting himself into second. So at the moment, you've got Maud, Williams, and Day as your 1, 2, 3. So if that is a 51, 52, which looks about what it is, that's why you've got that gap there. Most of these guys targeting 150 probably want to be going around in about 53 or so. So keep an eye on that clock. 53, 54 or so. So number 15, that's Yestin Williams taking the lead there. And we just see Andrew Smith start to take closer order, pull up onto Yestin Williams' shoulder. So we've got Yestin Williams still leading it. Andrew Smith just on his shoulder. Daniel Maud, Adam Day, and our parkrun man, Adam Peacock, starting to make a move now. So Yestin Williams just starting to pull away from this field. He's made a bit of a move on the back straight now, and they come into the last 200. And they're going to have to do some work if they're catching him here, because he has put in a big spurt with 200 metres to go. And he's got a huge gap, coming up to 10 metres now. Looks like Adam Peacock's going to be your fastest finisher, potentially. Coming home strong. We said we thought he might finish strong with that parkrun background, but it's all Yestin Williams now. What a fantastic run from Yestin. Keep your eye on the clock there. He's never been under 150. 47, 48, 49. Oh! So we had Yestin Williams, followed home by Adam Peacock. going to be very close to a PB for Yestin Williams there. 151 season's best, so I think we're definitely in that territory. And Adam Peacock, again, probably season's best territory for him there. He's gone 152 so far this year. So fantastic race there. Yestin Williams really made the running, going hard basically from the bell and putting in a big spurt on the back straight and with 200 to go to open up a massive gap on the field that the others just couldn't close. So, bit unsure with the pole vault results, but we think Toby Irving went clear at 4:10 first time. That was with a clear scorecard. And then a couple of failures at 4:20, but then went clear at the third attempt. And now he's had one failure at 4:30. So the bar's really going up for him. His PB before tonight, remember, I think was 4 meters. So he's gone 20 centimeters above that, and he is still going. Here he comes. You can't see him, but I can. No, a little bit slow and just knocked that off. So that's his second attempt. We'll keep you posted on that, on his progress. But he's having a storming night. So here's your start list for Heat 2 of the men's BMC Gold Standard 800 meters. Adetomiwa Oladiti, Luke Richardson, Joe Blacknell, Ethan O'Shea, James Vaughan, Aaron Enser, Zach Freeland, and Finlay White. So all these guys kind of knocking around that 155 mark. A couple of 153 guys in there as well. Pace is going to go out hard again, 53.54. So that's going to be quick for these guys, and don't be surprised to see a few of them sitting off that and trying to finish strong. So we've just heard that Yestin Williams in that men's 800A ran 150.64, which is a PB for him, just dipping under his previous PB. Which is fantastic for May. And he really made that running himself. So here's the results from the BMC Gold Standard Women's 800. Iris Downs, remember, making a huge move with 350 to go, rewarded with a massive PB, 205.64, and just over half a second away from that World Under-20 standard, with plenty of time left in the season. Steph Driscoll takes second with 206. That's as far as I can tell, that's a massive PB from Steph, but remember, she's usually over the 400 hurdles. Alice Bennett takes third with 208, I believe another PB. Izzy Cotham, 208 as well. That's a PB. Amy Griffiths, 209. A little way off her PB, Amy, but I think mostly does the 1500. Charlotte Young, 210 there, PB for her. She was fifth at Bucks last weekend and a half ago. So she's had a really good start to her season. Tilly Simpson gets 210 as well. She was fourth at Bucks. That kind of equals her season's best, or is around her season's best. Poppy Elton, 213, right close to her PB as well. She's got a PB of 213, so that's around that region. And Kate Willis gets 215 for 9th place. So on the track, you're looking at the BMC men's B race now. So going through in around 53.54, these guys. Fastest in the field has a PB of 153. And that's Ethan O'Shea. Buak man. Heat 2 of the BMC 800 meters. So they're off. We'll see who goes with the pace here. So looks like Oladipo on the inside's gone off pretty hard. And potentially Ethan O'Shea going after it as well. So it looks like it's going to be Ethan O'Shea slotting behind the pacemaker. And perhaps Zach Freeland. Yeah, Zach Freeland just on his shoulder, just coming past him to take second behind the pacemaker there with Ethan O'Shea just behind him. So remember, it's a quick pace. It's 53.54. Zach Freeland really going after it. Ethan O'Shea right behind him. So Zach Freeland still your leader there, but just behind the pacemaker. Ethan O'Shea sitting right on him though. Gone through in about 55, so that's quick. If you're looking for 153, 55, 56, about perfect. And as the pacemaker drops out, Zach Freeland just leading Ethan O'Shea. And just looks like Oladipo making a little bit of a move, closing that gap from third to second. So Oladipo looks like he's got the running in his legs, just coming into second place with 200 to go. Oh, he's taking a little bit of a bump as Ethan O'Shea moves out there to go past. So it looks like Ethan O'Shea and Oladipo are going to be coming past Zach Freeland. And it's going to be a burn-up between O'Shea and Oladipo and anyone else who can get involved. O'Shea holding the inside line and just starting to pull away from this field, perhaps. Yeah, Ethan O'Shea going to take your win here. Zach Freeland rallies for second place, and that's 61 finishing strong. So it looks like 153 for O'Shea. I'm not sure who 61 is. Yes, I am. Jamie Harper. So Jamie Harper coming from the back there to take third. So Ethan O'Shea right around his PB, 153. Zach Freeland, almost certainly a PB there. He was 156 before this race. So he's going to be in the 153, 154 territory. And our third placer, just getting his name up, Jamie Harper there. We're not sure how fast he'd run before tonight. So great work from Zach Freeland going after the pace there. Ethan O'Shea sitting on him and making a big move. Well, battling for the front with 200 to go and coming home down the home straight. Really, really strong to be close to his PB at the end there. Okay, so this is an update for you of the long jump after 2 rounds. So we've got Josh Woods, jumped out 6.79, second jump 6.69, so he's having a good series so far. Bucks indoor triple jump champ Josh Woods, so stepping over to the long jump. Joshua Knox 6.63, so he's nipping at his heels there. And Hannah Jones leading the women's competition with 5.13. Two no marks from Lily Smith, and it looks like Miles Durant Sutherland is a no starter for us. Okay, so there's our pole vault results. If you can make sense of that, you can see that Toby Irving is our top pole vaulter there with 4:20. Previous PB before tonight, remember, was 4 meters. Second, I'll say it one last time, Commonwealth Games champion from 1986, Andy Ashurst, still vaulting over 4 meters. Third, Ben Hillman, 370, and fourth, Trinity O'Connor, 340, just shy of that 350 she vaulted at Bucks a week and a half ago. And we'll put that stat down because that was... So you can just see some of those men's BMC 3,000 meter runners warming up on the back straight there, about to kick off. Okay, so BMC gold standard men's 3K start list. So we've got Callum Jones, Johnny Livingston, Remy Adebiyi, Joe Hudson, Oliver Smart, Toma Tarragano, Ben Brown, John Ponta, Joseph Tuffin, Sam Tyus, Frank Morgan, Philip Kraut, Jacob Deacon, James Nocton, Tune Ter Haar, who I think is the Dutch under-20 indoor champion, so keep your eye on him. Larry Ryan, Jake Wilson, Thomas Bentley, Kyle Thompson, Will Newcomb, and Sam Costley pacing it. Okay, so BMC men's 3,000 meters. So they're looking for 64s, which if they can hit that, that's going to bring them home in a rapid 8 minutes flat. So keep an eye on that pacemaker, see who goes with it. I think your man for it is probably Philip Court in the Shaftesbury Barnet Harriers vest. But we'll keep you posted. Sorry, Philip Kraut in the Shaftesbury Barnet Harriers vest. So pacemaker gone out, yeah, about 30. So pretty brisk. 45 there. That's James Nocton, 11th at the national cross country under 17. So stepping up racing with the seniors tonight. So I think that's Joseph Tuffin in second place there behind the pacemaker. Well, someone's just made a big move on the outside to slot into third. So a couple of Buak guys up front. I'll let you know who they are as soon as I know. So it's as you'd expect with such a fast pace, it has strung out pretty early doors. So just coming down the home straight. So we've got Toma Tarangos, who's 12th at Bucks Cross Country. Then we've got Ollie Smart, 5th at the National Cross Country this year. 33, that's Johnny Livingstone. He's an 8:30 guy. 45, we mentioned earlier, that's James Knoxon, the under-17 athlete. So Joe Hudson just behind them as well. Okay, so the two Buak boys up front there. So Ollie Smart and Toma Tarango. 8:14, 8:16. So we're in that kind of territory. I think just keep your eye on the clock as we go through 800. So bang on 2:08. So bang on 64. So we're on 8-minute pace. So they are running well below PB pace. We'll see what they can hang on to. It's obviously really early days at the moment, but great running from Ollie Smart and Toma Tarragano there. So in 33 there. So yeah, Johnny Livingstone, under 20 athlete. He's got a best of 8:30. So the two Bucks guys, followed by Johnny Livingstone, followed by our under 17 James Nocton. Then we've got Tune Ter Haar, our Dutch under-20 indoor champ. And then Joe Hudson. And so Joe Hudson, part of the Bucks cross-country championship winning team. And we'll just try, as they come around the second time, we'll try and get the last of that lead group. So there's a lead group of about 7 or 8 there who've broken away from the rest of the field, all going with the pacemaker. And I emphasize again, the pace is brisk for these guys. So PB's around the 8:15, 8:16 kind of mark for the front guys. And they're running more like 8:5 pace at the moment. So Callum Jones and Joseph Tuffin just making up the rest of that lead group. So Joseph Tuffin really taking a step up. He's a 1:49 800 meter guy. So stepping up to 3K, this is going to be a tough ask for him. Probably felt quite slow for the first lap or so, but now he's got a little bit longer and probably getting a bit unpleasant. Okay, so still not a lot of movement there. Still very strung out. The pacemaker's just dropped out, but they were around 4:24, so you know, a little bit off the pace that was asked for, but probably still PB pace for a lot of these guys. So as the pacemaker dropped out, Toma Torregano is left out in front. So really strong cross-country runner, Toma. And just sat on him, Ollie Smart, just behind, again, another strong cross-country runner. And then Joe Hudson just behind, sorry, not Joe Hudson, Johnny Livingston just behind them. So it is still very much a lead group of 8. Not a lot to tell between them. I just wonder whether our under-17, James Noxon, under-20, just starting to, a little bit of a gap opening up between 3rd and 4th there. And possibly Tarragano just opened up a little bit of a lead. But it looks like Ter Haar's just covered that move and slotted himself into 2nd. So 2 laps to go, and the pace is pretty strong. Couple of 64s would bring them home in 8:08, so that'd be big PBs for these guys. So Tarragano doing a lot of the work here on his own. Ter Haar just sat behind him, and it's a lead group of 3 who've just pulled away. So Ter Haar just taking the lead on the back straight there. Tarragano just dropping back into 3rd. And we think possibly Callum Jones and Ter Haar just taking the up 1st and 2nd, but Tarragano is just sticking with them. So that's your Dutch under-20 indoor champion, Ter Haar, who has just opened up a decent-sized gap there. Previous PB, we're thinking, is around 8:25. So he is going to be well under that if he can maintain this pace. We've got Callum Jones just in 2nd, chasing him home. And Tarragano, after doing so much of the work, stuck on Callum Jones like glue, seeing if he can hang on to that 2nd, or see if he can come back and get that 2nd place. Ter Haar's gone early. I wonder whether they're going to catch up with him. Callum Jones and Tarragano looking strong on the back straight. But Ter Haar, I think he's going to have a bit too much for them. They come in with 200 to go. So we're on 7:35. So 32. He's looking like he's going to be well under 8:10 here, which is a massive PB if we've got that stat right. But here comes Tarragano making a big move. Is he going to catch Ter Haar as we come into the home straight? So the man who did so much of the work versus the man who put in a big move with a couple of laps to go. Tarragano's coming strong. Tarragano's got the home crowd behind him, and he's gone past Terha. What a finish from Toma Tarragano. 8:06 as well. What a massive PB for him. Obviously a great winter of work from him. Set up a strong cross-country season, has set him up well to come out and run 8:06, 8:07 in May after doing a lot of that work himself. Really impressive. And credit to Terha as well, the under-20 Dutch athlete there, doing a lot of work in the latter stages of the race, really trying to take it by the scruff of the neck, but Tarragano just a little bit too strong coming home. And 48, we've just seen, that's Jake Wilson, under-20 athlete. And 49, we've got Thomas Bentley. And that concludes the men's 3K. So I'm now joined in the commentary box by Oscar Frost. You'll remember his 400 metres, I think second tonight, was it, Oscar?
Yeah, second in my race, which was, I mean, you know, it was quite a strong race. So, I don't know, it was just good fun, really, to get out. I mean, it's always such a great event.
Busted eating pizza. Not very fair, is it?
I mean, to be fair, I was chief pizza messenger about 10 minutes ago. So, jack of all trades, I guess you could say tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell us, whilst I eat my tea very rudely, what I'm most interested in, Oscar, is this mascot race that didn't happen when I was at Birmingham. But you are the champ. Tell us about the outfit. Who was the competition? What happened?
I mean, the competition in the mascot race is always it's always very interesting because of kind of the range of mascots on display. I mean, I don't want to name any names, but there was sort of like onesies as opposed to
That's not okay, is it?
I know
it's not
it's
okay.
not,
That's not a full-on mascot costume. That seems like they're going for speed rather than the genuine outfit there.
Exactly, and I mean, Rory the Lion, you don't really know what it's like running in Rory the Lion. I know Johnny will know. It's difficult. It's very top-heavy, which I wasn't really expecting when I first put it on. But I mean, once you get going, it's not too bad. But it's that first kind of 50 where, you know, you've got the head bobbing around everywhere. It's quite difficult. I mean, it's a tough balance to say whether a flat 400 versus a 200 meter mascot race is harder. So
200 meters.
Well,
If
200
you go
meters in a
200.
mascot. Yeah, I know.
Right, so we'll come back to that, ladies and gents. Don't you worry. There's more questions about the mascot race. But now we've got the BMC Gold Standard Women's 3K. So we've got Amy Pratt, Alice Garner, Jess Bailey, Caitlin Shepherd, Alex Barber, Alice Bates, Freya Bennett, and Alice. Oh, I think we saw Alice Garner. So I think that's everyone. Okay, so we're looking for 71s at the front, and then I think there's going to be a second group with 74s in there. So I think it's Amy Pratt who's probably asked for the 71s, knocking on the door of 9 minutes. Amy Pratt there, and you can just see her.
Emily Thompson there leading early doors, just ahead of. Oh well, the pacemaker as expected. Emily Thomas ran very strongly at Bucks recently, so a great athlete. I mean, it's always nice to see them coming out and pacing, but it would have been nice to see her race today as well.
What did she do at Bucks, Oscar?
Well, she was part of the great female squad that got, well, all 4 athletes through to the 1500 final. So, I mean, you know, she's a very strong 1500 athlete, so pretty perfect for pacing this one.
Absolutely. And she is at the moment pacing Amy Pratt. So Amy at the weekend, same track, same sort of time, is going to be targeting the British 2K chase record. So normally a steeplechaser, Amy. Went to the Olympics last summer, just working on a bit of flat speed now. So you could be looking to see that 9 minute or so barrier getting broken tonight, potentially. Okay, so the pace is around 8:52-ish if they are clocking those 71s. We'll just keep an eye on the time as they come through. Okay, and that group led by Kate Seary there in the orange vest, they're looking for 74s. Bring home still in a very, very respectable 9:15.
And Amy Pratt's doing really well here, actually, just sticking to that pace by Emily Thompson. Still staying away from that breakaway group, but it would be interesting to see how she sort of deals with the latter stage of the race when she doesn't have that pacemaking from Emily Thompson.
Yeah, absolutely. So different running just behind someone, letting them do the work, to having to carve it out all by yourself. I'm sure as a steeplechaser of such high caliber, she's done a lot of her fair share of leading over the years. But you just can't underestimate how tough that is when you're left out alone and you've got to just churn it out for a time.
Yeah, but I mean, then again, we did see a wonderful run at Bucks again by Zachariah Mohammed, who actually won from the B race.
Wow.
He ended up winning the gold medal from the B race, running pretty much the whole thing on his own. So, yeah, I mean, there's definitely a chance for her to run well on her own, as you say, a very established athlete. So maybe that sort of prior experience she's got might sort of pull through and really help her to pull out a good time here.
Absolutely. So just whilst we watch the early stages of these of this 3K, we'll just flick your attention back to that fantastic men's 3K, where he's going to look at me and tell me that I'm saying this wrong, but I'm going to have a go. Tone Terhaar, who my Googling last night tells me you're the Dutch under-20 3K champion. Yeah, absolutely. So you'll remember Tone taking on the running with about 2 or so laps to go, and rewarded with a big PB, I believe, Tone. So talk us through it. Didn't think you were going to make the race at all. Didn't think you were going to make the start line. Okay. What was your standard time? What were you looking for? 8:09. Is that that's for World Juniors? Is it? Wow. So I believe gets a bit of prize money, does he, Johnny? Yeah, 200 pounds. Courtesy of Monterey. Should cover your travel. So, Tone, have you got any other races lined up while you're in the UK?
No, I will go back to Holland tomorrow. Just want to see my family again after 5 weeks. And then probably race at IFAM in Ordegem, Belgium.
Ah, yeah, I raced there a few years, many years ago, almost a decade now, but that was super fast track. Tough on the legs, I imagine. 3K, quite a hard track out there.
Oh, yeah, I'll race 1500 there.
Okay, brilliant. What are you targeting for the 1500?
Well, also World Championship standard.
Okay.
That's 3:46, but I hope to go a few seconds faster than that.
Okay, excellent. Super well. Very, very best of luck to you.
Thank you very much.
Thank
you for having me.
Pleasure. Thanks for coming. Right, so we take our attention back to the women's 3K, where we've got Amy Pratt. You can see pacemaker's dropped out and she's left doing the running all by herself there, but she's looking strong. Kate Seary's dropped out as well, and that group has splintered a little bit. Number 54, Jess Bailey, English schools cross-country champ and nationals cross-country champ Jess. So she's pulled a little bit away from, could be Alex Barber in third there. I'm not sure. We'll get that when we come round again.
I mean, her and Alice Garner as well have very similar seasons best. So if both of them pull out good times, then potentially there could be quite a quick finish there.
Yeah, absolutely. They were on around 9:15 pace early doors. I think it's slow judging by how the field splintered, but we'll keep an eye on that as well. Both girls there with PBs of around 9:23, 9:25. But this is Amy Pratt coming down the home straight again with 2 laps to go. So 270, if she could hold on for 271s, she'd come back just under 9 minutes. I think she slowed a little bit potentially.
Yeah, I mean, again, what we were saying earlier with running out in front on your own, it's always difficult to kind of maintain that pace, especially with only 1 clock. It's very difficult to sort of come around with a couple of laps to go and really hold that pace.
Yeah, absolutely. Not knowing necessarily what you're on as you go through 200 is certainly tough. But she looks like she's full of running, doesn't she, Oscar? She looks like cadence is still high.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, as a master of the swim in the last 50 of a 400, I can say that she definitely is not swimming.
Absolutely.
So, and I mean, again, when you sort of come through with sort of 1-2 laps to go, you do often see a little bit more of a push just because you know that it's sort of the last push before you can have a well-earned rest.
Absolutely. So keep your eye on the clock here. I think this is going to be fast. So 1 lap to go. So just starting to rock and roll a little bit now, Amy Pratt, but she's only got 1 lap left. And she's 7:49, 7:48. So with a 71, she is bang on for 9 minutes. So we'll see whether the crowd on the back straight can give her a bit of a cheer. Help her coming home. She looks like she's kicked on just a touch. Cadence has picked up. She's certainly working hard. Jess Bailey there working hard as well. So 8:12. So she's not far from PB territory, Jess. And 53, Alex Garner as well. Jess has just pulled away from Alice in the last sort of lap or so. So there's about 50, 60 meters between them now. Here's Amy Pratt. You can just see on the screen. 150 to go. Really pushing for home now. Clock's on around 8:40 with just over 100. So she's going to be very close to that 9-minute barrier.
And she'll see the clock ticking up as well. She's really pushing it now, coming back into the back straight.
Absolutely. So really strong performance from Amy Pratt. I think it's going to be well under her PB. Yes, and under 9 minutes, 8:58, 8:59-ish. So 3-second PB, and that is fantastic work. Doing a lot of the running all by herself, Amy Pratt. And Jess Bailey coming through strongly as well. So our former English schools cross-country champion. She's going to be well under her PB as well, running a 9:19 there, I think. So great running from Jess. Again, left to do a lot of the running. And we've got a bit of a finish on here. It's Alice Garner and 56. That is Alex Barber. Garner and Barber. Garner just takes it. 9:35 from Barber. Alex Barber rewarded. Strong finish there and probably going to be rewarded with a PB as well. Just missed Isabel Jones coming in. 55, I think, Caitlin Shepherd. And one of our BUAC athletes, do you recognise her?
Freya Bennett coming through.
Freya Bennett coming through. So not far from her PB, Freya, 9:58-ish, 9:59. So really good for this time of the year. So what have you got? Anything on the horizon, Oscar? Any more races lined up?
Well, I mean, for me, I think it's time for a sort of training block now, I think, for the next sort of month or so. Booked in for the next BUAC Open, which... I mean, it's always great to come down to the local track. It always feels a little bit shorter when you train at the track as well.
Home turf advantage, yeah.
Exactly. So, no, I think looking for a solid kind of month's training. And then, yeah, should be back in better shape come the next Buak Open. So that's kind of what I've got my eyes on now.
Brilliant. So we've just been told Jess Bailey has just hit the Euro under 18 standard. So that's fun. That's fantastic from Jess there. She was second in that race. Big PB under the Euro under 18 standard. Nice £200 from Monterain for Jess.
Quite comfortably under the
Yeah, yeah, well under,
well,
well
actually.
under.
So, I mean, her PB coming into it was around that qualifying standard, so she's smashed 2 birds with 1 stone.
Yeah, absolutely. Great result in Birmingham.
And another £200.
And another £200 from Monterain. After a quiet start, they're now dishing out the prize money, Monterain. So thank you very much. So here's the result from the men's 3K. So in first place, after that spectacular finish, did a lot of the running early doors. Tarragano dropped into third and then top last 150 to win it in 8:07, massive PB for him. Toon Terha, who we spoke to, the under-20 athlete from the Netherlands, fresh from his altitude trip, only arrived in Birmingham last night. Big PB, 8:08 and a world under-20 qualifying standard. He's also going to be going for the 1500 standard at some later meets, he told us. Johnny Livingstone in third, 8:11. Callum Jones, 8:11. Joseph Tuffin, 8:12. James Nocton, 8:14. Joe Hudson, 8:19. Oliver Smart, 8:26. Jacob Deacon, 8:30. Page 2. Here we go. Ben Brown, 8:31. Sam Tyus, 8:32. Philip Kraut, 8:36. Remy Adabi, 8:36. Joe Ponta, 8:38. Kyle Thompson, 8:38. Will Newcomb, 8:41. Jake Wilson, 8:46. And that might be our lot. I'm not sure. And Thomas Bentley, 8:53 there. So we now go on to our 800-meter open events. So that's the BMC done for the night. We're on to the 800-meter open. I think we've got 4 races here. Go on, this will be a challenge. It's too big for the laptop screen. So we've got Joel McGraw, Brian Junior Cotello, Ben McIntyre, George Sutcliffe, Harry Sinclair, Lewis Carr, and William Newcomb. And James Marshall, Thomas Ross, Carl Wellborn, and Henry Fisher. Ever been tempted to step up to the 800 meters, Oscar?
If I'm honest, absolutely not. I kind of started last year as a 1 and 2, so I think that's where I'll stay. And having chatted to Ben McIntyre, who's in this race, he's definitely put me off it. So, no, I'm expecting a big race here from Ben McIntyre. Semi-finalist at Bucks for the 400 hurdles, but fancies himself as more of an 800 runner. So, yeah, let's hope that all of them run a good time. It's a good Buak showing as ever in the middle distance races.
Yeah, as always. It looks like Joel McGraw's the early front runner on the inside there. Pacemaker just going to come across him, and that is
Harry Fisher pacemaking this one, I believe.
And in third place, we've got Brian Junior Cotello. I've got to give a shout out to to Brian, my former club, Cambridge and Coleridge. So he's a couple of hours up the A14 and on the M6 to get here tonight. So I'll be interested to see how he does. So Joel McGraw leading behind the pacemaker.
And then it looks like Thomas Ross in third place, number 210.
Absolutely. So they're going to go through 56, 57. So it's a brisk pace, and they've really gone after it. Joel McGraw's left out running with Thomas Ross just behind him. They've opened up a gap to Cotello. He's just dropped. That's our brat runner. That might be Carl Wellborn or Lewis Carr just into third there. But it's looking like it's going to be between McGraw and Ross. So we've got another Buak runner coming through there who's made a huge move on the back straight and is closing them down. So it's Buak 2 and 3 and soon to be Buak 1 and 2. Thomas Ross has made a big move. He's kicked into first and he's coming down the home straight strong.
Thomas Ross still leading with that other Buak athlete next to him.
Looks like Lewis Carr from Bratt on the inside, but I think Thomas Ross is going to hold on. He went out hard with the early pace and
Harry Sinclair there with a strong finish as well.
So Harry Sinclair is who we saw make that big move down the back straight, and 188 Lewis Carr having a strong race as well.
That ended up being quite a close race in the end, actually. They kind of were strung out for most of it, but quite an exciting finish.
Yeah, certainly. It looked like Joel McGraw and Thomas Ross were going to have all the running to themselves, but making some big moves down the back straight, Lewis Carr and Harry Sinclair of Buak really running them down. Yeah, and a tight finish.
Yeah, I mean, around that sort of 600 mark, Harry Sinclair, that move really was good. I thought that he was going to come through and take it, but I mean, Tom Ross, very good to hold him off. Obviously, they trained together a lot at this track, so maybe he knew that that was coming. But no, very strong running all in all.
Yeah, always interesting racing a training partner. They kind of know what you like to do in races. They know if you want to go out hard. They know if you like to leave it for a sitting kick. So yeah, tough trying to outfox them.
No, exactly. I mean, Ben McIntyre in that race, we've raced each other over 400, and I know that after 200, you still will not know who's going to win. But yeah, I mean, the 800s are always so exciting. There's so much sort of lead changing that happens, and someone who sort of looks out of it after the first lap can really come through and take it.
Absolutely. It sounds like you are a bit tempted, Oscar, to make that step up.
I think I'll stick to commentating over 800s rather than doing them myself, I think. And now I think we've got the women's 800 runners coming out and lining up. So very interesting in this second race as well is a mixed race, which again, I mean, we talked about sort of sit and kick versus lead from the front, and I think we might see lots of different styles of racing in this one.
Yep, absolutely. So heat number 2 of the Open 800s. On the inside, it looks like we've got Lizzie Pennington, then Holly Banks, Samuel Hembry, William Walker, Willem Hembry. So that could be probably a battle of the Hembry brothers there, I think. Clara Higgs, Emily Williams, Catherine Snowden, Fred Jones, Charlie Smith, and Kelsey Cornish.
And also Max Walk finishing off the lineup for this race. And yeah, I mean, judging by the fact that they're both under 15s, it looks as though it could be a tale of twins rather than just brothers.
Could be. So 199 gone out pretty hard. That's Samuel Hembry. He's already passed his brother and looks like he's setting his stall out nice and early, blown past the pacemaker.
Both Hembry brothers actually blowing straight past the pacemaker.
And it'll be interesting to see whether they wait for him or whether Samuel Hembry just wants to take on the running himself here.
And yeah, Willem Hembry just settles in behind the pacemaker, it looks like. And it looks like Sam might be slowing down to let the pacemaker Max walk past.
Yeah, so threw in 30, which is pretty brisk. But there's people in this race with PBs around the 204 mark, so certainly not suicidal. But he set out his stall earlier, Samuel Hembry. And he now tucks in just behind the pacemaker with his brother Willem just behind him.
And I mean, we were talking about racing training partners, but racing brothers must be a
it's tough getting bragging rights in that household.
And it's number 207 in that as well. Charlie Smith coming through, and it's those three as the
the Hembry brothers. So Sam in front, Willem in second, and Charlie Smith in third. But it's the Hembry brothers who've pulled away now. And Sam just making his presence felt over Willem there, just opening up a slight 3-4 metre lead, working hard down the back straight.
And with 3 BUAC athletes in that chasing group as well.
So Samuel well clear now, and it's going to be a case of whether Charlie Smith can catch Willem Hembry. Oh, Willem Hembry's starting to rally a little bit, glancing behind him.
The gaps between both athletes are closing, but it's whether they'll be able to make up the gap before the finish line.
Yeah, here comes Charlie Smith, but I don't think he's going to catch. Oh, no, he might catch Willem Hembry. So Samuel Hembry for the win. 2:02, that'll be a PB. Willem Hembry, 2:05-ish. Potentially also a PB, and Charlie Smith must be close to his PB there as well. So the 2 under 15 Hembry brothers just finishing in front of Charlie Smith there. And we saw 1:76 coming around. So Fred Jones, under 13 boy there, coming in just under 2:20 as well, which is a really respectable time for an under 13. That's fantastic running, in fact.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to see those young runners kind of in with the university students, sort of the underdogs, sort of difficult to see them sometimes among the sort of three.
A little bit of a baptism of fire stepping up into an open meet. Never quite sure what you're going to get racing against some of the older boys, but no, really good run from Fred Jones there. We'll see. Might very well be rewarded with a PB. It's nice at that age when you PB. So
absolutely, and I mean, this is part of the great thing about competitions in this kind of May period that. Obviously, you've got PBs coming from last year, the year before, and you really don't know what people are going to produce. I mean, we've seen lots of people today come out, obviously had great winter training blocks and coming out and smashing their personal bests in May.
Absolutely. So talk us through what's your plans coming up? You said you've got a bit of a training block. Any races on the horizon as well, Oscar?
So I think the next race that I'll be doing, well, the next one that I plan on doing anyway, will be the next BUAC Open in June. Just sort of getting through the exam period and getting through a training block uninjured would be quite a good outcome.
How long till exams are over? Have you started seeing them yet?
Yeah, I actually had a French speaking exam this morning.
Oh wow, tough gig.
So I will not be speaking French, maybe ever again. But no,
final year, are you?
No, I'm only a second year. So I've
French is finished.
Left. But no, I think sort of getting through the final bit of the year and then really focusing on the comp season is the way that I'm going to be going about it.
Absolutely. So a lot of athletes tonight juggling university exams and the start of the track season. Always a really busy time.
And school, by the looks of things, with some of these younger athletes.
Yeah, and school as well. Yeah. Right, so here we go. The heat 3 of the 800 metres. We've got Sam Ball, Madison Farley, Amelia Casey, Caroline Johnson, Victoria Godfrey, Oscar Davis, Emily Symes, Olivia Scott, Holly Grant, Ava Kind, and Oliver Carville on the pace.
This is Oliver Carville's second pacemaking after doing a flat 400.
Yeah, we saw him earlier in the night, didn't we, in the flat 4. So again, real range of ages here. Sam Ball, probably quite young in his running career, under 13. You can just see him on the inside there, Sam, going right up to seniors as well. So Amelia Casey and Caroline Johnson, senior women.
And Ollie Carville leading the pace out front, just trying to get those front runners back on him.
Yep, so it looks a couple of them are certainly going with the pace there. We'll try and work out who that is and let you know as soon as we know. So it could be Oscar Davies, I think, there in second. And just sat, we'll just have a look. So Madison Farley there with Oscar Davies. So Oscar Davies just on the outside. Is he going to tuck in just before the bend?
And it's the young athlete Sam Ball coming through in third position after the pacemaker.
Battling well with Caroline Johnson there. So 2:06, that's Oscar Davies. He's just gone in front of Madison Farley. and he's tracking Oliver Carvel there.
I mean, it'll be interesting to see how far Oliver Carvel decides to pace this.
Yeah, I guess he could go to 6, could go further. Oh no, as we said that, he's just dropped
on the
off.
back bench.
So nice to see him giving the athletes a cheer as they come by, and that is so Oscar Davies looking really strong with 200 to go. There you see with Madison Farley just tracking him well, and
Caroline Johnson.
Yeah, Caroline Johnson in 3rd.
That's quite an interesting pack. 1 and 2 seems to be relatively comfortable, but that chasing pack to see who'll get that 3rd position looks interesting.
Yeah, certainly up for grabs. Sam Ball is still in there, 3rd in that chasing group. Davis is going to win it. Farley's going to be 2nd, and it's a 3-way battle for 3rd. Here comes Sam Ball on the inside, the young under-13 athlete, battling well with 186. That Holly Graham, no, not Holly Graham, sorry, Ava Kind. So Ball from Kind.
From Daly.
And then 196 coming in is Emily Symes.
Followed by Victoria Godfrey as well.
And last, 186, Holly Graham. So really, really great battle for 3rd there. Sam Ball sat in that group and just had enough down the home straight to reel them in and grab that last podium spot, as it were.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to see all of these young athletes again coming out and sort of starting their athletics careers young. And I mean, hopefully the Birmingham Opens carry on going for a lot of years to come, and they'll become regulars and kind of go up the heats and then into the BMC and then to the Olympics.
Absolutely. Yeah, so they were a big feature when I was at uni many years ago, and then obviously the old Monroe track got ripped up. We got a brand spanking new library in its place, and now in our lovely woodland surrounded track by the tennis course accommodation, the Birmingham Open events are back.
Yeah, and I mean, it's fantastic to have them back after obviously a COVID-riddled last few years.
Yeah, definitely.
And I mean, it's really a testament to the club that we've got, how good these Opens are. I mean, such high quality, both from the athletes and kind of the organisation that everyone's put in.
So we're just seeing some of the shot putters there. Let's see if we can find some results for you, please. So open shot just starting. We'll try and bring you some results if we can.
That was Alice Lineker, I believe, having either a warm-up effort or a first effort there.
Okay. One of your colleagues at Buak.
Yeah, I mean, a fantastic multi-eventer as well. I mean, a lot of Jade Sermon's group. Yeah, you know, they get stuck in loads of different events, which is really great to see. I mean, she had, well, of her group that were in my 400 heat, I think they'd come from Javelin.
Yeah, a couple from pole vault as well. We saw,
exactly, which is really great to see. And on that, it's great to see the pole vault. Obviously, they finished now, but I mean, it's a fantastic event. Really one that sets us out from some of the other open competitions going on at the moment.
Yeah, we were definitely pretty excited watching that pole vault. Really great competition. Okay, so it looks like we've got one more 800 meter race. Great to see so many from the local club Brat here. 5 or 6 Brat athletes in this race. I must, seeing as I've just spotted him on the start line, I must give a shout out to number 191, Seb Stendel. So he's one of the kids at the school that I teach at. So I'll be intrigued to see how he goes today.
And we're also hearing that it'll be a father-son match between Andy Knight and Oliver Knight, numbers 208 and 102. So, I mean, we've had everything now. It's training partners, brothers, and now intergenerational.
So here we go. So Darcy Payne, Andy Knight, Oliver Knight, Mustafa Bailey, Seb Stendhal, Jenny O'Rourke, Alistair Fleming, Amira Emery, Scarlett Willoughby, and Katie Hopkins with the pace. So Seb Stendhal there setting out his stall early, getting after the pace, and I think that's Scarlett Willoughby as well. So it's Willoughby and Stendhal, both gone out pretty hard, getting right on Katie Hopkins for the pace.
And there's a group of 2 at the front, as well as the pacer Katie Hopkins, who seem to be separating from the rest of the chasers at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. So it's, yeah, so still Stendhal and we think Willoughby, second and third behind the pacemakers. And then 102. So 102's Oliver Knight just trying to close that gap. He's ahead of his dad at the moment, which is probably the main thing in that household, where the dad can rally and still get some bragging rights at the end of the day. We will see. Here's Seb Stendhal. He's just gone past the pace. He's gone through in 117.
And that's 102 Oliver Knight as well, getting up onto the shoulder of number 202 Scarlett Willoughby.
Yeah, I'm not sure Dad's going to catch him now. So good battle between Ollie Knight and Scarlett Willoughby. Andy Knight really trying to keep pace with his son here. But I think Ollie's going to prove too strong. Matty Stendhal still out front. Seb Stendhal still out front. Matty's his brother. Seb Stendhal still out front with about 2:50 to go. Looking strong. Ollie Knight's trying to run him down though. So we could end up with a tight finish here. And Andy Knight's not giving up the ghost of his son. 202 Scarlett Willoughby still running very strong as well. So it's going to be Seb Stendhal coming into the home straight with Ollie Knight trailing him home. Battle of the 2 under-13s from Brat.
And it looks like Ollie Knight's finishing very strongly here, whether he can get past and take the win.
Yeah, Seb Stendhal's going to have his work cut out. Seb's gone hard early doors. Seb Stendhal, Ollie Knight there. And Scarlett Willoughby finishing strong as well. So great running from these 3. Seb Stendhal just rallies at the end. 2:34, fantastic time. Ollie Knight as well. Top stuff. Beats his dad. And Scarlett Willoughby picks up 3rd. 5th place, just finishing there, I think, is Alistair Fleming. 6th was Mustafa Bailey. And 7th, I think, is Amira Emery, 2:04.
And that was a fantastic finishing kick there from Scarlett Willoughby coming through. I mean, it was great finishing from all of them, but she definitely came through very strongly there.
Yeah, really good to see such strong finishing. And again, as you alluded to earlier, 2 massively different tactics there. So Seb Stendhal and Scarlett Willoughby really going after it at the start, going after the pace. Oliver Knight a little more reserved to start, but finished like a train, and almost caught Seb on the line.
Yeah, I mean, fantastic. You know, the real head down style of just seeing her body in front of him, and really wanted to take that, but just about fell short. So, I mean, if they stay at the same club and stay sort of training together, then you think that they'd be quite a good training pair for the years to come.
Absolutely. So shortly we'll be starting the Open 3Ks, the shot put there. I don't know whether we can bring you any results so far from the shot put. So we've got Isaac Delaney, we think, leading the competition with a best of 18.25. This looks like it might be Tyrone Williams, perhaps. Okay, so we'll take the shot put results with a pinch of salt. We'll just watch it for now, and we'll give you some results when we can. There you go. So that's the women's BMC Gold Standard 3K. Amy Pratt just dipping under the 9-minute barrier there. Watch out for her at the weekend, going for the UK 2K chase record. Jess Bailey 9.19, well under that under 18 Euro standard. Alice Garner, not sure whether she's still an under 18 or not, but she would be under that standard if she is. I think she might be under 20 now. Alex Barber 9.35, Isabel Jones 9.40. And the Open 800 metre heat one was won by Thomas Ross in 1.56. Harry Sinclair ran 1.57. Lewis Carr 1.57. Joel McGraw 1.57. James Marshall 2.01. George Sutcliffe 2.02. Ben McIntyre 2.03. Carl Wellborn 2.03. And Henry Fisher 2.04.
Very interesting to see that Harry Fisher finished the race despite being the pacemaker in 2.04.
Yeah, good spot, yeah.
Not
We're
sure.
questioning that.
But either way, I imagine that would be a lot faster than I could do in 800 metres. So hats off to Harry if that is the case. Then now we've got the results from the second heat of the Open 800 metres. In first place, we had Samuel Hembry with 2.03, then followed by his brother/twin, unconfirmed, Willem Hembry in 2.05, followed by Charlie Smith in third, 2.06, Emily Williams, 2.12, Holly Banks of Buac in 2.14, Fred Jones, 2.17, close with Catherine Snowden, 2.17 as well, and Lizzie Pennington also 2.17, so very close at the end there. And we just saw an effort from Lewis Bing as well. And now we're seeing Alice Lineker lining up for another attempt in the shot put.
So one of Buac's multi-eventers, Alice.
And it's a small field here in the shot put today, but I think it's quite a high quality one. I mean, Lewis Bing is sort of a well-established athlete. I remember sort of seeing his name last year coming up a lot. So it's great to see him back again for another set of Buac Opens this year.
Absolutely, and I think pushing out towards the 18-metre barrier, the 18-metre mark, Lewis at the moment. Wow, that is a stat we've just been given there. So Johnny has just told us he might hold the record for the most Buac Opens, unconfirmed.
That is a very Johnny Curry kind of stat, straight off the top of the head. Some very interesting knowledge coming out of Johnny Curry tonight, but that's one to tell the family at dinner, I reckon.
So here we go. 3K Heat 1, Open 3K Heat 1, Tyler Hawley, Morgan Hill, Jonathan Bradford, Jordan Jones, Matthew Clutterbuck, Joseph O'Connell, James Wardle, Tom De Jong, Daniel Carpenter, Ben Duncan, Adam Barber, Owen Jones, Andrew Jevons, Ash Burgess, Richard DeCamps, George Rowland, Ed Blytham, Ross Van Herd, William McKeemy, Petros Kousis, Max Walk, Ollie Morgan and Larry Ryan.
And that's Max Walk pacing his second event of the night. I mean, it's great to see him back out on the track. Unconfirmed, but I think he might have had some injury struggles in the past year. So obviously not racing tonight, but it's great to see him back on the track.
Yeah, absolutely. Certainly if he's been struggling with injury. Good to see him running at all.
And as well, it's good to see a very nice Buac showing in this race, as always. It's sort of a staple now of the middle to long distances that there's always a good showing from the red and gold. And just standing back from their line, maybe someone got a little bit too keen on the start line. They'll be back underway in a second.
So it's going to be a busy race this. Two starts.
Yeah, you'd expect a lot of sort of argy-bargy in the first couple of laps, but I feel as though it should spread out over the course of the 3K race.
So going to be going for 68, which will bring him just, well, a little bit inside 9-minute pace. 8:30, I'm told. 8:30. Yeah, so halfway inside. Yeah, halfway inside.
How long's a piece of string is the is the question of the day there. And Max Walk, unsurprisingly, coming to the front there, with 2:19 coming through just after him. That's Matthew Clutterbuck. And I mean, already you can see the pack really stringing out here. Obviously, if you go out into lane 2 every lap of the 3K, then suddenly it becomes a lot longer than you mean it to be. And that's George Rowland as well, I believe, in that leading group for Buak. Just being passed there, going into 4th place. And that's still Matt Clutterbuck just on the shoulder of Max Walk, making the pace.
James Wardle in the blue vest there. So slotting in second if you don't include the pacemaker.
And Larry Ryan in the blue shorts, just trying to sort of stay with that leading group as a tiny gap is created. We're hearing that Larry Ryan was meant to be in the BMC race, but has been put in this open 3K race instead. So maybe he's a late ringer that could come through and perform really well in this one.
Yeah, certainly we'll keep an eye on him. So as the laps tick by, we're looking for about 2:16. So it's a little bit outside that 8:30 pace that would ask for, but still pretty respectable 2:20 through 800.
And that's Ed Blythen and Ross Van Heerd, I believe, still clinging on to that leading group. It's very difficult because if that group splits in half, you really need to kind of cling on, otherwise you will get left behind in this kind of race.
Yeah, absolutely. You just don't want to let those gaps emerge. You want to get dragged round for as long as possible. Don't want to be left on your own doing that running. So 2:41 we said was James. So James Wardle tucking in second behind the pace now.
And then Adam Barber settling in as well, quite well placed with George Rowland and Matt Clutterbuck and Larry Ryan behind them.
So around 8:42 pace.
And there is a gap starting to separate. We sort of had 2 strung out groups that's now turned into sort of 4 distinct groups. That leading group still has quite a few athletes in it though.
Yeah, and maybe just starting to bunch a little bit as well, which is an indication that there's a few athletes in there getting a bit twitchy, thinking maybe they want that pace to be going a little bit faster. I expect they saw that 2:54-ish or so at the 1K mark, and are thinking maybe they were hoping for a little bit quicker. So a few guys potentially thinking about pushing this pace on in a minute.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, Max Walk will really feel them breathing down his neck, but he's still holding a good pace here.
So that front group, we've got James Wardle, then 2:72.
That's George Rowland.
George Rowland.
Larry Ryan also in that leading group with Matt Clutterbuck.
And it's just strung out again, so maybe Max Walker's just pushed the pace a little bit again, perhaps there.
And that gap between Matt Clutterbuck and Ed Blythen there doesn't seem to be getting any smaller.
No. Looks like maybe we're getting three or so away. One's been dropped from that back group. As Max Walk steps off the track there, having done his job for the night.
And I think that's Matt Clutterbuck struggling to stay on pace with that leading group. So he's really got to start reeling them in. Otherwise, he'll be absorbed by that second group.
So James Wardle left out front now.
Followed by George Rowland on his shoulder.
So yeah, George looks really comfortable.
Then Adam Barber up there as well with Larry Ryan and number 248.
So it's it's sort of a front three, potentially starting to pull away there. So James Wardle, George Rowland, and Adam Barber.
And I think that's Larry Ryan as well, just trying to sort of stay in contact with them, but it is looking like it's quite tough.
So yeah, so James Wardle still in front with George Rowland just sat behind him with 2 to go. George Rowland has sat there on James Wardle's shoulder ever since Max Walk dropped out. Sorry, and he looks like he's just biding his time about when he's going to make his move and try and go past.
Yeah, I mean George Rowland looking really smooth now on the back straight.
He does look comfortable, doesn't he?
Well, I mean, then again, both runners actually look really comfortable in that leading
James Wardle definitely still looking strong as they come up 600 to go.
And that's Ed Blytheman still leading sort of the bulky chasing group. And you'd expect them to keep making ground up on Larry Ryan.
So here we go as they come in with 500 to go. It's James Wardle and George Rowland. Rowland has stuck to him like glue for the last 3-4 laps or so, ever since James Wardle found himself at the front when Max Walk drops out with the pace there. So James Wardle, George Rowland, 7:28 at the bell. George Rowland just biding his time. He just looks like he wants to go by.
Yeah, and I mean, I think Wardle will feel as though he's done the bulk of the work in this race. George Rowland, as we've said, just sitting on that shoulder, perfect racing. So we'll see whether he can go past and take the win in this race. But it's looking very tight between the two.
So it looks like Rowland's just trying to make his move down the back straight. Can Wardle hold him off to the bend? That'll be the question. If he can hold him off to the bend, he can make him run wide. Every time Rowland attacks, Wardle responds. But here goes Rowland. Big kick with 200 to go. He's gapped him, and I don't think there's any way back from James Wardle now.
No, James Wardle starting to look a little bit laboured. I mean, that second position is really cemented, but George Rowland storming through in this back straight.
Absolutely, really strong finish. You did get that sense watching him. He was just biding his time, waiting to make that move. He got twitchy, kept on moving out just to the outside of James Wardle's shoulder, but you felt like he wanted to do something, George Rowland, and he has. 8:32, fantastic running. Really picks up the pace in that last K.
And that's James Wardle coming through in second position as well.
So third, Adam Barber, I think.
And a sprint finish on for fourth position.
So the athlete's still coming in under 9 minutes, so 8:53. 2 more Buaks, just going to dip under that 9-minute barrier.
That's Ed Blytheman and Ross Van Heerd just coming through before that 9-minute tick.
And that's a strong finish from Ash Burgess there. Coming home in 9:13-ish, which is going to be a big PB for him. And 2:67, bringing it home. That's Tom de Jong. 9:38-ish. So really exciting race there in the men's 3K. the under 20 man James Wardle just not able to run away from George Rowland.
Yeah, I mean, racing strategy-wise, that was a great race by George Rowland. Sort of keeping on the shoulder for pretty much the whole race, whether it was Max Walk. I mean, you know, he ran a fantastic race there, and it's a great time for both of those athletes.
Yeah, James Wardle, even though he didn't get the win, likely to be rewarded with a big PB there. I think 8:38 was his PB coming in, so 33-ish.
Should be very happy with that one as well. It's always good to have a PB there, even though it's a little bit bittersweet just being edged out by Liam Rawlings. Not Liam Rawlings at all, George Rowland.
Okay, so some more results for you. The Open 800 Heat 3. So first place was Oscar Davies, followed by Madison Farley, Sam Ball, Ava Kind, 226, Amelia Casey, 228, Emily Symes, 230, Victoria Godfrey, 231, Holly Graham, 234. And then 800 meters Open Heat 4. The win, front-running Seb Stendhal took that with 234 from the fast-finishing Oliver Knight. 234 also. Scarlett Willoughby went out hard as well, rewarded with a 235. Andy Knight, unfortunately losing to his son, 239. Alistair Fleming, 241. And we lost those.
And now they're just limbering up for this second race of 3,000 meters to finish off the night here.
Yep, so a lot of local club athletes in this. We've got quite a few from Bratt, a few from Wolverhampton, and a few from, looks like, Bourneville potentially as well. So 76 is what the pacemaker's been asked for, which is around 9:30. We've got athletes ranging from around 9:35 PBs right up to 10 minutes here. So you're going to see, I imagine, quite a split field, but we'll see how it shakes up.
And we're seeing Harry Fisher yet again. He just loves the screen time, I think. Harry Fisher,
he's done his fair share tonight, hasn't he?
He has. I mean, there aren't many people who like athletics more than Harry Fisher, so it's great to see him racing as much as possible.
So 2:5 Owen Ulfig is in second behind Harry Fisher there. We'll try and bring you some of the other names as we find them.
And that's Aidan Banfield in third place as well. Well, second if you discount the pacer Harry Fisher.
So Ethan Compton, we think that is in fifth or fourth behind the pacemaker. Good contingent of Bratt running there as well, forming quite a big group working together. So we've got, behind our pacemaker, we've got Owen Ulfig, we've got Aidan Banfield, we've got Sam Bentham, and then just a little bit of a gap to Ethan Compton, and 2:56 is Louise Hackett there as well. And then a big group of Brat runners with a couple of Birmingham Uni thrown in as well.
Yeah, I mean, as we were saying at the start of this race as well, we were kind of expecting it to be one of the more strung out of the races that we've had tonight. I mean, I feel as though when you have 3 heats, then it's often that there are a few runners in this heat who might have felt a bit hard done by not being put in the first heat. So there's a real range of abilities here, which we love to see. And they're running very well here, looking close to 9-minute pace. So whether they'll be able to hold that or not, that would be some pretty big PBs for some of these athletes at the front.
Yeah, so 3 minutes obviously through the K would be 9 minutes spot on. So there we are. So yeah, 9-minute pace for Owen Ulfig, Aidan Banfield, and just trying to hang on to those number 268, which is Sam Bentham as well.
And I mean, Sam Bentham has been there. He's been there or thereabouts, but he really just needs to make up that sort of 10-20 meter gap between him and the front 2 here.
Yeah, I mean, if the PB we've got down for him is correct, 10 minutes, he is blowing that out of the water tonight. But the front 2 certainly look very comfortable. And Sam Bentham just trying as best he can to hang on to them, with Louise Hackett having now moved into 4th place with, I think, not sure who's just behind Louise Hackett. Ethan Compton just behind Louise Hackett, the under-20 man from Tipton.
And it's still that same front pairing, and they're looking very solid here down the back straight.
So Owen Ulfig, just to bring your attention to number 254, Owen Ulfig, he is an under-15 athlete, so he is running very well. And actually, just keep your eye on the clock, because the top-ranked under-15 boy in the country at the moment has run 8:59. And then it's a big gap down to second, 9:21. So if Owen can keep this up, he's going to be pushing the UK rankings, pushing towards the top of the UK rankings there.
Yeah, real bragging rights for him, you'd expect, if he does get that second position on the rankings. And I think that's the beauty of Para 10, actually. It's a really good asset for UK athletics. It's a really good way of sort of measuring how you're doing in comparison to the rest of the UK.
Absolutely. Gone are the days when you had to buy your Athletics Weekly, get a highlighter from WH Smith and go through the results page. It is now all available for you. And I do think that has pushed on the event. You know what your contemporaries are doing. You know what other people around the country are doing. Things like that, things like the BMCs, paced events like this. Well, you've seen the times in the UK tumble over the last few years. And I think that has a big part to play.
No, I think it's a real asset. And I mean, there is sort of that feeling of looking back and seeing your progress as well. That's always nice to see. And as a very average athlete myself, I think I'll be ranked for the first time ever today on Para 10, which is always a good thing to have. But a lot of these athletes running really well and will not just be ranked, but be ranked very high after this race, you'd imagine.
Absolutely.
And we just had word as well that 9:03 would be within the top 50 all-time in the UK.
Yeah, so I think they've dropped a little bit. They're coming up to 2K now. That's 6 minutes, so they have certainly slowed. But Owen Ulfig just taking over from the pacemaking duties there. So it's down to Owen Ulfig and Aidan Banfield now. Owen Ulfig left pushing the pace with Banfield just behind him.
And whether we'll see a similar story as the first heat with George Rowland sitting on the shoulder, it seems a bit of deja vu with the Buick athlete just sitting on the shoulder there of the leader.
Yeah, absolutely. Aidan looks like he's working quite hard though, so I do wonder whether Owen can earn himself a little bit of a gap before that final straight. Aidan being cheered on by his Buick teammates there. And still in third place, that's our man 268, Sam Bentham, having a great run for Bourneville. 261 just come into it as well. Richard Bayliss
And then Josh Dowling just behind him as well in the black hat. And it would be good to see a strong finish from both of them as well. Maybe sort of reel in some of the front runners here.
Absolutely. Some of those guys did go out really hard at the front. And it's going to be a tough lap and a half for them to get home. As we just see on the back straight, anyway, yeah, there you go. You can make it out. Owen just starting to open up a little bit of a gap on Aidan as we go 600 metres to go.
And I mean, if Aidan Banfield can just sort of hang on just a little bit, then you never know what will happen on the last lap here. But Ulfig is looking very good coming into this last lap.
Yeah, a little wobble there from Aidan. I think the legs are just starting to go a bit. Owen Ulfig, PB of 9:30. I think he's going to be well under that tonight.
Yeah, I mean,
he's had an absolutely storming run.
He's looking a little bit laboured as well coming into the bell. Both of these front runners do. You'd expect it to be a 1-2, but let's just hope they can push each other and get the best times possible.
Yeah. So Sam Bentham coming in third there at the bell. And 261, Richard Bayliss, man, we haven't mentioned much. Looks like he's full of running with 1 lap to go.
And Josh Dowling just coming through at the bell as well.
With Louise Hackett just behind. Louise Hackett having a really good run tonight. 251, we just saw, that's Michael Burgess of Bratt.
And Patrick Mackey just slotting in behind him as well.
So it's still your man, Owen Ulfig, at the front there with 200 to go. I'm not sure Aidan Banfield's going to catch him. Owen Ulfig looks really full of running now with about 150 left, just coming up to 9 minutes on the clock. So he's going to be well inside his PB of 9:30 and quite possibly under that 9:21.22-ish, which will put him second in the UK rankings for this year.
And now he can see the line and is really pushing. Maybe he knows that Power 10 ranking is up for grabs. And it looks like he's got it, 9:17 as he comes through the line.
Fantastic for the under 15 there. Aidan finishes second with Richard Bayliss just not quite able to catch Sam Bentham. Sam Bentham, who was out on his own for a lot of that race, went with the early pace.
And there's a little bit of a race on here for the next places.
Yep, Louise Hackett finishing well. 9:41, probably maybe just outside her PB there, Louise.
I think that was Chris Burrows finishing just behind her, and then Patrick Mackey just behind him. So very close from those three.
So Ethan Compton we saw coming through there in the Tipton vest as well. Really went after the pace, and it actually ended up not far away from his PB of 9:50. So a good run from him, having gone out very hard. Just the last couple of runners from Bratt finishing now.
And very well done for Buak's Lauren McNeil as well, just dipping under 10 minutes, I believe.
Oh, fantastic barrier to break through. And Becky Timmings just finishing us off.
And a lovely little Buak photo going on there, which is great to see. It's a great atmosphere in the team. And I think it's been a great atmosphere through the whole event, actually. Sort of everyone wishing each other the best.
Yeah, it's been a really nice evening. The weather just about came good for us, actually. It was not looking great at lunchtime today, chucking it down with rain. But now, not a lovely evening. Just some results for you now. The Open 3K Heat 1. We saw that fantastic battle between James Wardle and George Rowland there. George Rowland running 8:32. James Wardle, I think, was a big PB, 8:35. Adam Barber for third with 8:40. Richard De Camps fourth. And Jordan Jones, Larry Ryan, Petros Kousis, Joseph O'Connell, and Jonathan Bradford. William McKemmy rounded out the top 10. Matthew Clutterbuck, who was involved in that early leading group, coming 11th. Ed Blytham, Ross Van Heerd, Ash Burgess, Andrew Jevons, Ollie Morgan, Tyler Hawley, Morgan Hill, and Tom de Jong. Right, just one final race for you now. It's our last 3K of the evening.
And now lining up for the third heat of the Open 3,000 metres, we have Maddie Mastronado, Paul Shaw, Eloise Bull, Caroline Warrington, Lucy Stevens, Tilly Horton, who came fourth in the Bucks 10K not too long ago, Jade Charlton, Omar Saeed, Siobhan Gregory, Dylan Teasdale, Nicholas Van Morit, Laura Trask, Hannah Seeger, Tom Burdett, Amelia Harrison, Oscar Fleming, Abby Rex, the current social sec for Buak, Georgie Campbell, and Catriona Orbini Brown. And this should be a great race to cap off a great night, I think. Again, similar to the last race, a mix of abilities, but some real opportunities for the big PBs in this race, I reckon.
Absolutely, yeah. Another big field full of local club athletes, and obviously a big showing from Buak as well.
Again, according to the website, that Max Walk will be pacing yet again.
Surely not. He's about, what's that, 5 minutes recovery he's had?
Yeah, I mean, he's had a great session by the looks of things. Yeah, I think he deserves a well-earned rest after this. And it's Max Walk taking the lead as pacemaker in this final race of the night.
Yeah, really not a really nice way to do your evening session, to be honest. Max will have benefited from a lot of pacing over the years, and so to kind of give something back and do a whole chunk of it as part of his workout, brilliant. So that's Max Walk leading. That's Nicholas Van Murik. I should give a shout out to Kes pupil at the school I work at. He's just on the inside there with his brat teammate number 248. That's Dylan Teasdale.
And then Beanie Brown just settled in behind them as well.
So again, as we would expect, a pretty strung out field. I think the pace is around, they're looking for around 9:50-ish pace. So a lot of these athletes kind of PBs in the 10 minutes. So if anyone can dip under that magical 10-minute barrier, that'd be fantastic to see tonight.
Yeah, and I mean, there are a lot of sort of PBs clustered around that 10-minute mark as well, so hopefully they can lead each other. I mean, it's great having Max Walk, who even tonight has been an experienced pacemaker. So I think hopefully once he goes, they can still lead each other to personal best times. And 80-second laps we're hearing were the required pace.
So bang on 10 minutes, yeah. So it's quite a bunch group. A few people obviously feeling comfortable in that. Just dropping out to lane 2. And 221 just stepping in to take closer order. That's Omar Saeed. So we got Omar Saeed. Nicholas Van Murik just still in that group, just dropping back a little bit. And Dylan Teasdale's our leader behind the pace at the moment.
And we're sort of seeing this front-running group breaking away a little bit. There are 2 athletes just in between the leading group and the group just behind, you'd say.
Yeah, tough place to be when you get left between groups like that. But hopefully they can rally and have a good race.
It's a good effort so far from this chasing pack, actually, who seems to be really in the leading group. You'd expect that they'd know that sort of 10 minutes is sort of not in the realm of impossibility for a lot of these athletes. So if they can all stick together and push each other, then we could see a lot of them dipping under.
So 243 is Catriona Brown there, just taking up the lead behind the pacemaker. with Dylan Teasdale still tucked in behind her.
And that leading group actually went through the K looking very well set to break 10 minutes if they can keep that pace. But as we saw in the previous race, whether they will be able to keep that up for another 5 laps is yet to be seen.
Yeah, we're just starting to see that lead group really string out now. So Catriona Brown right on Max walk, but the others just dropping back a fraction. And I wonder whether they're finding this fast pace a little bit much for them now that we've done just over a K.
And I mean, it's great to see that huge contingent at around the 200-meter mark really sort of willing them on halfway round, so that they can always either see a group of supporters or see the line pretty much the whole way round. And there is a slight gap developing between that leader Beanie Brown and the other 2 or 3 chasers.
So Georgie Campbell just trying to catch that, trying to close that gap to Catriona Brown there. 2:14 and 2:44. So we've got Tilly Horton and Hannah Seeger in that chasing group as well. Omar Saeed's just dropped back a little bit.
Yeah, after quite a quick move in that sort of opening couple of laps as well from Omar Saeed. So we'll see whether he has a similar kick at the end of the race. But you'd also expect Tilly Horton, who's in that kind of chasing group, to come through. As I said, just before they started racing, she came 4th at the Bucks 10K a few weeks ago. So you would expect her to be able to hold a solid pace for the whole 3K.
Yeah, she'll have that strength, won't she, from that?
And Max Walk just taking a glance over his shoulder to see where Beanie Brown is as a small gap develops, but I think she's clinging on there. But certainly a gap developing between Beanie Brown and that chasing group. So when Max Walk steps off the track, then we'll have to see how Beanie Brown does on her own.
Yeah, that will be tougher. I wonder how far Max Walk will go.
And I mean, another great part of the day today that I really wasn't expecting was a pretty good lack of wind. I mean, walking here at about 4 o'clock, I was feeling a little bit blown back, but no, especially for these last races, it's really calmed down.
Yeah, it's been a beautiful, still evening. Yes, the track's slightly sheltered, isn't it? But there really isn't a gust in the air, which is fantastic for these 3K guys where they're just going round and round and round. You don't want to be battling into that wind when you're strung out like this with so many athletes running on their own.
No, exactly. And we've still got Max Walk making the pace out front, and Beanie Brown still leading, but the gap between her and the other athletes seems to be decreasing a little bit.
Yeah, so about 6:42 at 2K there, which is pretty much 10-minute pace. But she does look like she's just starting to struggle. Catriona Brown there.
Georgie Campbell as well, I believe, just
catching up with her.
And it looks as though she'll take Beanie Brown actually on this straight, you would imagine.
Yeah, I wonder whether these two girls can work together and get themselves close to that 10 minutes.
And that's Tilly Horton as well, just trying to stay in contact with that leading pair.
So it's Georgie Campbell who takes up the running now, just behind Max Walk.
Just 800 metres to go as well, less now for those leaders.
So strong 1, 2, 3 for Buak, with Bratz, Dylan Teasdale in 4th and Omar Saeed in 5th. So whether they can work together on the last 2 laps, Omar and Dylan, that would be good as well.
And Georgie Campbell as well, really creating a gap there between her and Tilly Horton and Beanie Brown. So whether she can continue this for the last couple of laps, she looks set for both a good time and a win as it stands.
Yeah, looking really strong there, Georgie. Made a move to come past Beanie Brown with just under a K to go. And she still looks full of running as we come up to the 500-meter mark.
As does Max Walk as well, who still hasn't stepped off the track, which is great to see for a good time for Georgie Campbell.
Yeah, this is what you want from your pacemaker, isn't it? Going to at least 2,600. I think that's the dream.
Exactly, and it looks as though Georgie Campbell has created probably a big enough gap to take this race. So now it's just a question of how fast she can finish here.
Yeah, so she's going to need about a 77 if she's going to go down under 10 minutes, but she still looks strong.
Looking very strong, actually, going into that opening bend as Tilly Horton comes through in second, and Omar Saeed of Brat coming through in third place. Wow, Georgie Campbell really stretching out the stride on the back straight there. And I mean, looks as though this could be one of her quicker laps here.
Yeah, she'll need it if she's going to get under 10 minutes, but she does look full of running. Cadence is still high. Max Walk still with her, still pacing her all the way.
As Maddie Mastronado comes through for her last lap as well. And Georgie Campbell with about 150 to go now. Definitely going to come second in this one. And Max Walk with a lovely 3K rep.
So she's going to need a 20-second last 100 or so if she's going to get under that 10 minutes. I think it's on. 15 seconds to go.
She'll see it ticking up, and it looks as though it's going to be close.
So, yeah, well under. 9:56, 9:57. Fantastic running from Georgie Campbell. She looks over the moon with that performance. She's dipped under that 10-minute barrier. Omar Saeed coming in for second.
And Beanie Brown
like
finishing strongly
just
as
going to
well.
be bang on his PB of 10:10. Beanie Brown, after doing so much work in the middle there, still rewarded with a nice 10:14.
And then Tilly Horton coming through in fourth place there as well.
Yeah, and Dylan Teasdale, I think probably in his first 3K, really strong running.
And Abby Rex coming through just now.
That's Nicholas Van Murek crossing in 10:30.
And now Maddie Mastronado finishing strongly there.
I think this might be Amelia Harrison coming through in the Tipton vest. .270 Lucy Stevens finishing just inside 11 minutes. As does 260, which is Caroline Warrington.
And about 150 to go for this last athlete here. The last athlete on the track. Coming into the home straight now, looking for a fast last 100.
Also, Paul Shaw.
And a vintage Birmingham vest there for this.
Yeah, not careful. I think mine might be an older vintage than that. So don't say too much, Oscar. But yeah, great running from Paul Shaw there.
A shade over 12 minutes there to finish the night.
So I think that concludes the first University of Birmingham Track and Field Series of the year. We'll see you again in June. I don't know whether we've got any last results we can put up. Maybe not. The logo's gone up. Might be a night. We can do the long jump. Here we go. So the open long jump, Josh Woods took the win with 7:16. Joshua Knox, 6:86, and Hannah Jones, 5:14.
And now just a quick look at the shot put results as well. We've got Isaac Delaney taking the win with 18:31. Then Lewis Bing, the unofficial record holder for most appearances at these events. Then Fraser Wright with 14:43. Alice Lineker with 10:45, which can't be far away from her personal best, actually. And then Tyrone Williams with 8:48.
Hi. Well, I guess goodbye from us, Oscar.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us tonight, everyone. And hopefully we'll see you in June for the second meet. See you later.